Welcome everyone to the Wake Up Call channel. I wanted to do a video just to show you how deep the hypnosis runs on both sides of really what is a conservative communist party and a democratic communist party. All these people who line up and vote for these people will vote for whoever's on the ticket, whoever is in the party that they're affiliated with, which really, in a sense, is a form of communism, where the party comes first. You're not actually voting for a candidate, even as bad as one of the candidates may be. And in this case, both the candidates are extremely awful. But of course, we know this is done by design, that people didn't choose these two. They've placed the two worst possible candidates that they could think of, and they've built up so much stock behind both, as one being an extremist in Trump and the other one being completely senile in Biden, that still these people are towing the company line for their political party. And it's amazing to me over the last couple of years, because in 2016, when all this stuff happened, I talked the same way I'm talking now. I exposed all this stuff with Donald Trump then, that it was a plant, that he was a plant, and what the plan was. And all the stuff that has happened since then has proven that he is nothing more than a plant. But since then, and since 2016, we have never seen so much support for a political candidate like we see for Trump and like we see for the Democratic Party. The people that they put in place, because of how they act and because of the stuff that the government's gaslighting, like the Roe v. Wade stuff and the LGBT and the libraries and the free speech that they're removing, they've got everybody all riled up. But the conservatives, just like they thought in 2016, are just as brainwashed as they were then, if not way worse. And in comes Amber Rose. So if you're not familiar with Amber Rose is the latest one of these celebrities who is working in the left-right paradigm, the left-right psyop, to garner support and rally people behind the Maga movement. Now, we know most of the celebrities out there are all Democrat, but they keep trying to pull some of these B-level celebrities out and have them parade around like they're MAGA supporters, as if they're rebelling against Hollywood, and Hollywood won't give them work if they support Donald Trump. That's one of the narratives that's out there. And Amber Rose isn't necessarily a Hollywood actor. Apparently, Amber Rose is a model. But now Amber Rose is coming out showing off a MAGA engagement ring. I mean, it's incredible the stuff that these people buy into, right? She's now in a new music video with Forgiato Blow. Apparently, that's the guy's name, with a song called Trump, Trump Baby, which I'll play a clip for. Now, let me just show you some of this stuff with Amber Rose. It just shows you how most of the people out there are so involved in this hypnosis. They're so deep in the psychological operation that is the left-right paradigm, that they could literally put Marilyn Manson next to Donald Trump, and all of these Christian conservatives would support Marilyn Manson. They'd be like, yes, Marilyn Manson has seen the light. He's left Hollywood. He's supporting MAGA. Instead of saying, wait a minute, maybe Trump's actually corrupt. Look at the people he's aligning himself with. We've seen the millions of photos of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, but he gets a free pass, right? Because he's Donald Trump. But any one of the liberals out there that's with Donald Trump, well, they'll scold them and go after them, like Tom Hanks and all these other characters that we've seen over the years. But the simple fact is that they want you, by design, to stay stuck in this left-right paradigm. Because if the civilians realize that they're being worked, then this whole thing ends and the civilians rise up against it. I can't make that clear enough. So the majority of these people only see what they want to see. They could probably put Baphomet on the ticket with Donald Trump, and they'll support the Baphomet and say that the Baphomet changed its color. So let's take a look at maybe what we should call a real-life version of the Baphomet, Amber Rose, real quick. And I want you to hear some of the quotes out of Amber Rose's mouth about how she feels about Jesus and Christianity now that she's aligned with Donald Trump, who supposedly is a hand-selected prophet from God. That's how brainwashed most of these people are. Now, Amber Rose has been seen posing with the bunny rabbit ears. Of course, this is a sign of MK Ultra. She's only famous, or he's only famous, because this is a byproduct of mind control. This is an MK Ultra beta kitten that they've rolled out, associated with the likes of Kanye West and many other celebrities. They put her with a celebrity to try to boast that celebrity stock, because Amber Rose has such a large following somehow on Instagram. Now, we've seen Amber Rose out in the open with an upside-down crucifix right on Amber Rose's forehead, but that wasn't enough, or isn't enough apparently, for people out there to actually realize that they're being played in the left-right paradigm by Trump and any supporters. Here's Amber Rose, just, being Amber Rose, right? Being a demon. Would you call these pictures demonic? I mean, I would say they're pretty demonic. They look like they're right out of Hellraiser, right? With the black goo and the blood. But of course, this is all art to MAGA. But if you actually show them these things when it comes to other celebrities out there like Lady Gaga. If Lady Gaga is speaking out against Trump, then they'll call her Satanist, right? Because, well, how dare she say that? Look, she's a Satanist. Well, we know that Lady Gaga, or Lady Barfbag, as I should say, is a Satanist, but so is Amber Rose. So are all of them, and they're working you. So let me start with this clip of Amber Rose, which, again, this is how they play into the conservatives out there. They boost them up. They're under just as much mind control as the Democrats are. And she talked about how she broke free from the mind control, right? Making, of course, the people out there who are conservative feel like they're awake when they're not really awake. Haven't you noticed this movement with the Q movement, where all of a sudden all these people think that they understand these CIA operations, they understand what's really going on, the Illuminati and all that. They don't have the slightest clue that they're still in the trap. They're in the psychological trap. They're in the simulated reality. But listen to Amber Rose talk about how she's awake now that she's no longer a Democrat.
A lot of people were shocked with your, endorsement of Donald Trump. I mean, you're all about women's rights issues. I mean, what was the reason for the big change?
Is Donald Trump not for women's rights issues?
I mean, I guess a lot of people were
He's
asking.
trying to make America great again. That's for women too, right?
That's true. I mean,
okay, there you go.
I know. Does him getting convicted change the way you view him?
Not at all.
I mean, do you think it'll help his chances getting reelected, or it'll hurt him?
I think it helps him more. I think
it helps him more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people see the injustice and what happened, and they want to vote for him more than ever.
I know. I wanted to ask you. So it seems like a lot of celebrities are kind of voting for Trump now. I mean, why do you think people are kind of changing their way of
I think we just did our research, and we're just we're not brainwashed anymore by the left. I can say that about myself. All these years I've been brainwashed, and I'm not anymore.
So you think people are getting more educated about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, of course, that plays right into the conservative mindset, right? She broke free from the mind control because all liberals are under mind control. Now, of course, there's truth to that, but the majority of society is under mind control. And yes, many conservatives might believe in Jesus Christ and follow Jesus Christ. It doesn't make them not Christian to believe in the conservative party and want to go and vote. Of course, it doesn't make them not Christian, but they're still under the hypnosis, and they can't even see the fruits of these people that are being presented to them. So here's Forgiato Blow, right? Here's the guy who is playing the prototypical stereotype of what really they're trying to lump people like me and you into. Now, people will find my channel and they actually think that I'm Maga, that I'm Q, that I'm part of this, and that's how the government works. That's why they created Q, so that people could come here, not even listen to what I say, and automatically lump me into this basket. This is the stereotype that they want everybody who's conservative to be put into, right? Here's this guy obsessed with 1776. And he's got Donald Trump. He's got 1776. He's got the Statue of Liberty, the Freemasonic statue of ISIS, right on his face, And these are the patriots, right? This is obviously part of the psychological operation that they've created, where there's this literally a blueprint for what MAGA looks like. So you could see all the liberals out there see this guy, this Forgiato Blow. And this is what they look at all people who are Trump supporters as, right? We all see the same stereotype. We understand how they're stereotyping both sides to look a certain way, to act a certain way. This is basic mind control 101. So here is this cringe video that this guy released, which apparently is at the top of the music charts. Of course, that's done by design. And this guy is just like Tom McDonald, who I exposed. Another one of these plants. All they do is rap about MAGA. They get millions of views. They put Ben Shapiro in the videos. It's the cringiest stuff you could. We make fun of obviously the Democratic hive mind. The conservative hive mind is probably just as much cringe. This is cringe as cringe gets. Looking at this video, just like most of Tom McDonald's stuff. And all they're doing is, if you listen to the talking points, these are all the talking points that they use on the masses who are under hypnosis still, right? Two-tier forms of government. Rules for thee, not for me. Listen to some of this cringe with the backdrop of Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby. Somehow, this is top of the billboards.
America needs saving. Voting Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. Red pill poppin', swerving in the Trump. The Democrat Party gon' take your freedom. And the two-tier justice system. Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. And God I trust to take the devil away. Sleepy Joe is a fraud. And the bloodbath in the overall fight. Media is the enemy of the people. America needs saving. We voted Trump, baby.
So you can even see behind the guy, who's wearing, of course, checkerboard checkerboards on his outfit. Don't be suspicious of that. You can even see behind him the all-seeing eyes. And they rolled this Amber Rose out right into the video. So for people out there that don't know of Amber Rose's take on Jesus Christ and Christianity, well, let me play for you a couple of clips from very recent with Amber Rose. This isn't from 50 years ago, 30 years ago. Amber Rose hasn't turned a new leaf. They're just showing you how dumb they actually think the majority of people are, that they could put whoever they want with these political people, and the people out there won't care. They'll support Amber Rose if she supports Donald Trump. That's all that matters. They wouldn't be skeptical at all as to why Amber Rose, who is openly talking about Christianity being a problem, that Christianity is what caused slavery, and on top of that, some of the ridiculous quotes about Jesus not being real, and of course says Christians are not good people. Listen.
Europeans were working under the premise that it was their mission to spread the idea of Christianity, and that those people who did not believe in Christianity needed to be converted. That was the idea. So religion played a critical role in the justification for the institution of slavery.
What they say God is didn't add up to me, right? Because all the people that I know to be Christians were not good people. The first humans were on earth 6 million years ago. The Bible and Jesus only came around 2,000 years ago, out of nowhere. Scientifically, it does not make sense.
But how do you know that?
Because it's scientific evidence. There's bones, there's DNA.
So you can only kind of laugh at some of the stuff. These are influencers. They're the ones who influence behavior. So they say really dumb, idiotic things. And of course, they have a very dumb, idiotic audience. And I don't mean that in a hurtful way. I mean, obviously, we know we live amongst people who are not thinking whatsoever. They're on autopilot. So he goes out there, Amber Rose, and talks about Christians being bad people, right? Not saying why she would think all the Christians I know are bad people, right? This is a stereotype that the mainstream media has implanted in people's minds. Christians are hypocrites, this type of thing. And of course, you gotta love not just the quote about Christians being responsible for slavery, because we all know who's really responsible for slavery, the Bolsheviks, excuse me. But there's scientific evidence that Christianity is not real. There's bones and there's DNA, right? So I love when people give evidence like that. Oh, there's scientific proof. That's all they say. And then they don't even know, what's the scientific proof? That you've been told that there's bones and DNA? Is that, we've been told that there's bones and DNA. Oh, so that means that science proves that people were around 6,000 years ago, 6 million years ago, 6 trillion years ago. I mean, I can't even keep track how many times the evolutionists out there have changed how long humans have been walking the earth. We've heard so many different lengths of time that apparently we've been here on earth. I mean, they change it every year. 1 year it's 1 trillion, 1 year it's 10 trillion, 1 year it's 1 million. I mean, just go on and on and on. And of course, just stupid, idiotic quotes like that sum up the society that we live in today, right? Where people would just spew stuff and say science and bones and DNA, and then you can't argue that, right? Anything you say back says, science and DNA proves it. Then you ask them to provide the evidence. Well, what's the evidence that they have? Oh, a book that they were handed in an institution called the school that tells us that dinosaurs and all this stuff roamed the earth X amount of years ago. No, thank you. I'm good. There's actually more proof of God's existence than any of the bullcrap that they've ever spewed. So that's Amber Rose. That's the new face of MAGA. And what we're dealing with now is so many people putting their hope in man. What does the Bible tell us in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5? This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who depends on flesh for his strength, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. In Psalm chapter 118, verse 8, it is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. And all of these people are trusting in man. So suddenly, Donald Trump is aligning himself. Like I said earlier, you could roll Marilyn Manson out and these people wouldn't even blink because they don't even realize that they're communists. They're busy calling liberals communists and they're saying that they're capitalists, but really they're communists because their party could do no wrong. Instead of just replacing someone like Trump with somebody, no, this is whoever's on the ticket, you have to stay with the ticket. They've created two dual forms of communism. It's liberal communism and it's conservative. You don't hear about people who vote for the best candidate anymore, do you? They just vote for their party automatically. So shouldn't we, when they talk about the current coming election, which we know is fake, if Joe Biden got the amount of votes he got last time, shouldn't we just expect him to get the same amount of votes? Nobody's changing their mind in this communist society that we're in. You see that people should be changing their minds, right? Everybody should be going, we don't want either one of these people, and we don't believe that these people actually were put by us on the ticket in the first place. We don't believe that Trump was put there, and we don't believe that Biden was put there, but they don't think that far. They just are easily manipulated. So the other thing I want to talk about real quick with Trump was something that I recently saw. I didn't even know this, but for those of you that didn't know about, we've talked over the years about Donald Trump and the Antichrist. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this, but I hadn't, about Elizabeth Christ Trump, who is Donald Trump's grandmother. And did you look at the date of death? June 6th, 1966. Very interesting, right? Elizabeth Christ Trump. But that must be a coincidence, the middle name and, of course, the date of death. Now, for those of you that don't understand how this works, these elites, as we call them, or they call themselves, we should really just call them satanic filth, satanic garbage. They choose the day that they exit. They choose when they leave. They are involved in ritual ceremonies and they exit this realm and they take on new vessels. So most of the dates have significance when they go. Queen Elizabeth, David Rockefeller, Elizabeth Christ Trump. I'm sure there's significance to that date as well. So just something I wanted to throw into the video that I had recently saw that I thought most of you would find interesting if you didn't already know it. And again, folks, I mean, you could literally put the devil on the ticket with Trump and they'll say that Trump is still a prophet. That's how deep the hypnosis goes. It is both sides. And that has to be as clear as day. We need to make that as clear as day. And it's just as difficult to pull the conservatives away out of the party as it is to wake up any of the Democratic mind control sheeple to what's going on too. It's almost like it might be worse for the conservatives because they think that they're actually awake. Now, I get it. Democrats think that they're awake too, in a sense, but they believe whatever they're told. The conservatives literally think they have an understanding of these things that we all talk about and know about while still voting for Donald Trump and being a part of the conservative party and then saying things like, well, it's the lesser of two evil. Well, when you realize your vote doesn't count, then people go, well, what are we supposed to do about it then? Well, if you want to go put yourself on a watch list and go and vote, go ahead. But really what people need to do is they have to separate from the technology now. You have to stop being a part of the system. And I could say that while I'm recording this and putting this on the internet. I totally get it. I'm not saying it to be hypocritical. I'm here right now infiltrating the hive mind by putting content out onto this site, but I'm not going to be here forever. And I don't plan on being here forever. And they certainly won't allow me to be here forever. We already know that they won't allow me to be here forever. But in the long term, the best thing that could potentially happen is a grid shutdown. If people start to learn how to live off grid and live without dependency on the internet, which is why the grid shutdown can't be that long. But people need to realize that we need to break free from this system. The system is completely hijacked, all of it. All of it, the Supreme Court, all of it, everything, the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, all of it is hijacked. That is true. And they are revealing that stuff. But conservatives are still putting their faith in somebody who's in bed with the same people that are persecuting him because it's all an act and a charade. So Amber Rose rolled out with the conservatives, has the upside down cross on her forehead one day, demonic, just covered in blood and doing demonic stuff the next. These people just don't see it. They just don't see it because they get their ears tickled by all this stuff that they rap about and these fake plant rappers. This guy is literally, the guy I covered here, Forgiato Blow, is literally a Trump rapper. That's what his profession is. He's a rapper whose work supports Donald Trump, according to his bio and his Wikipedia, that his music is strictly just all about Trump. Yeah, that's not a plan. So then everybody out there hears it, they get involved. Oh yeah, and the lyrics relate to them, right? Just like Tom McDonald is rapping about censorship. Oh yeah, Tom McDonald, no nicks on his YouTube channel. Tom McDonald trending in the YouTube trending section, right? Talking about, well, when I get censored, what I mean is that I would be getting trillions of views versus couple million views. All right, censorship is not having the ability to speak and being deplatformed. And for anybody out there that comes over here and says to me, well, why are you still here? How are you here? Get a clue. I've had people recently come over and go, I always liked you. I don't understand how you're still allowed to talk. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I'm on my 80th plus, of doing this channel, of doing this. Okay? So yeah, been deplatformed probably more than anybody out there now. The most censored man, I'd say, in the history of YouTube. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. Don't fall for these deceptions. They're very easy to see. Get out of the left-right paradigm before it takes you down with it. God bless all of you as always and your families.